Wow, that's crazy. The adventure just moved over there, actually.
Oh god, I meant we're going straight up.
I think we're going to
I've built a
stand
rocket.
perfectly
We're
still.
going to space.
I vote we stand perfectly still for a long time. Like 2 hours.
Standing still is an
You know
adventure,
what?
I guess.
What if we build a bar and then just wait for adventurers to show up?
And then we kill them and take their gold.
So we'll be a mimic.
That sounds more like a Blades in the Dark style adventure. Not gonna
That
lie.
does.
Who remembers what happened a month ago?
Well, I bet Major did something awesome.
Good job, Kevin.
Was
We
last
sold some
time-
of our crap.
Yes.
Yes, we sold
Last
some
time
stuff.
was
I
us
remember that.
finally getting out of the ferries, or was there an episode between?
Yep. Yeah, last time it started, you guys were at the top of the tree.
Yeah.
And you had just looted the giant glowing stone and unwittingly broken it. Yeah, so you and Tilly Domiati, who's an adventurer you bumped into, had looted this giant sort of spinning water stone thing from the fairy tree, and it immediately started going awry, right? But you're able to escape the tree, and when you returned, some things had changed. Some things in the present had changed based on your actions in the past, but by and large, it was about the same. And you were able to return with Tilly to the town of Walton. In the town of Walton, I believe you went shopping. You spoke to Titus Churchmouse, who you had previously agreed to help him recover his stolen goods from Gurin the Goods bandits. Titus informed you that in the time that you had been investigating a dead end, essentially, one of his employees had decided to go take matters into his own hands and go find the bandits himself. So I believe you had decided to follow that lead, right? And
Yes.
basically, you were communicated that this mouse had left town to go investigate the site of the robbery and had not come back. The next thing, let's see, what else? You went shopping, and then, while you were there, you passed a camp of what you gathered to be the defenders associated with Basil Emmental. And you also spoke with Tilly, who informed you that she's going to be going back to her Museum of Antiquities in Emmental Manor, and she invited you to visit with her when you visit. Is there anything else I'm missing? Oh yeah, Major almost got mugged.
But then I didn't.
But then he didn't. In fact, he was the mugger all along.
I wrote down Flopsy, former owner of a boat claimed to be made by his grandmother, supposedly worth 250 pips until allegedly destroyed by Majoram. And then, in parentheses, Major cast the fear spell, causing them to think he has a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I think in universe, of course, they didn't say gun. They would have said something
Pea shooter.
else. But yeah, he's
A
got a
literal
human
pea
thing.
shooter.
Anyways, that's kind of the gist of it. When we left off, you guys had returned to the inn, the Hole in Wall Inn, and had more meager accommodations this time around now that Titus is not paying for it. And passed the night, I believe. So, yeah, I think you're all probably likely to wake up pretty early in the morning. Sun is just coming up over the trees on the far side of the pond from where you are. Sort of like you're on the northern end of the pond, and so off to the what direction would that be? Which way is north?
North is
east.
east is
Your
to the
left.
right.
So if you're looking south towards the pond, kind of to the south, to the left, you see the
Yep.
sun coming up over the trees. I'm an architect. I know these things.
Which way does the sun rise, Mr. Architect?
Where do we find Sorrel on a morning like this?
That's a good question. I think that he's probably just in his room. I think he is like habitually an early riser or throughout his life has been an early riser who finally is letting himself sleep in a little bit. So instead of like absolute crack of dawn, he gives himself like 15 minutes before he cracks open his eyes and then like slowly gets up and like cracks his neck and cracks his elbows and just kind of he's a bag of popcorn with his old mouse bones.
Pop, 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 pop,
Until he
pop.
finally gets up and like sluggishly wanders around looking for something approaching breakfast.
I think you're able to kind of shuffle your way out into the main lobby, and I think given that you're an early riser, even despite your best attempts, you're probably the first one to wake up. And it's it's a mouse town. People are a little bit more inclined to wake up early, so there's some activity in this sort of bread and breakfast.
It could be a bread and breakfast.
bread and breakfast, bread and bed fist.
I mean, as a mouse, I would not mind sleeping on a loaf of bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, yeah. The interior of this sort of fine, storied inn that you're staying in is very nice, and there's light coming in, kind of bouncing off the water into this window. You see the proprietor of the establishment kind of polishing some glasses and setting up for the morning rush. And she'll like call over to you and be like, "Good morning. How did you sleep?"
Oh, you can't complain. It's about as well as any night. What might a mouse get around here for some breakfast?
Oh, we've got some berries over there, and if you'd like something a little bit stiffer, we've got some wine.
Got some unripe berries.
We've got some mashed seeds and some granola, and some juice. And I'm afraid we're actually, if you're more of a water person, we're out of water at the moment.
Seems a bit odd. Isn't there like a whole lot right out there?
Yeah, we got a light delivery this morning. The delivery boy, he said that there's some trouble down with the water purification
Oh,
plant.
is that local?
Yeah, just down at the end of the wall. You follow the docks, you'll get right to it.
Oh, I hope it's not anything serious. Water's
No, but
rather
I'd hate to
important.
give you some spoiled water.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would spoil your day after all.
I should probably go with the granola, but I'll treat myself to a bit of wine. Whatever you have that's the lightest.
Right away. And she'll like kind of busy herself passing that out to you. There's probably like a bar that she's getting things out from under. I think in the meanwhile, Major and Butter, you're both probably waking up and having planned to set out early this morning. Where do we find you?
Butter, I think everybody got their own room.
Yeah.
Butter slept on the floor. I don't think he intended to, but he probably he rolled off the bed in the middle of the night, and found himself in the corner, in the morning. He has been, every time he sleeps away from rushing water, he sleeps quite fitfully. And he wakes up with a very dry mouth and a kink in his tail that isn't typically there, but it'll straighten out throughout the day. and there's some crumbs just kind of sticking on him in various places. He may or may not notice all of them. And
Like
he like
with like the stone underneath you is like icy cold, right? Like it's got that morning chill of heavy stone.
yeah, feels like home. Uh he he gets up and he walks over to his bag that he didn't bother to unpack because he knew that everybody was getting up and ready to go, and he has no idea what time it is. So he picks it up and he just kind of silently head down, drags it out the front door, and hopes to run into one of them because he may be late. He might be hours early. He's just gonna fall asleep somewhere public, uh, and wait for them to wake him up again.
Major.
Yeah. So Major M had a long couple of days leading up to this. Not a lot of great rest periods, and he was pretty tired. So while he likes to put off air of like get his hands dirty, stay up all night, get the information, get the job done, he really took the opportunity and had like a full-on spa night last night. And so he wakes up in the morning and starts stretching, and he smells all lavender fresh, not a speck of mud in his fur. And for the first time in a while, he doesn't even need to yawn. He's just good to go. This is a beautiful morning for him, and he's gonna make his way down to breakfast.
I think the night before you would have partaken in some of the nice. They have like basins at the bottom of this large atrium that is the hole in the wall, and they're essentially these sort of heated springs where they're pulling in pond water, and you get the minerals and the whatnot, and uh, kind of enjoying that with some strange folk that come through this space. Brightly colored birds and frogs and salamanders as well as mice, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you will come down and probably see Butter curled up in a chair somewhere, as well as
Not in a chair, on the ground.
on the ground somewhere, enjoying the nice differently temperatured stone here. This stone is getting direct sunlight from the windows, so it's been heated on the surface a little bit. You see Sorrel enjoying some wine and granola for breakfast and making small talk with the proprietor.
Enjoying the wine and withstanding the granola.
It's like it's maybe the finest granola you've ever had, which is not saying much.
Yeah.
And I think you guys noticed when I come down, because you probably didn't see this last time, but I've taken my hair and feather and I've woven it into a hat with still the end of the feather like sticking out like it's a feather in a hat. And I did roll for the color because Major would have gone around and tried to find some sort of berry to dye it with.
Mhm.
And it is just a nice bright purple now.
Spray
Fits.
purple. Love it. Is the whole hat purple or is it just the feather bit?
He's stained the entire thing purple with
Nice.
berries.
Very nice. Very royal.
Well, if there's nothing else you'd like to do, I think eventually you'll see Titus Urchmouse come down with a couple of his attendants, and he'll sit down and order a fine breakfast. He'll kind of give you a wave, but it's like we're on good terms, but like business has been like we've already made our deal and whatever. Like there's nothing really to talk about.
Yeah.
I think you'll see some other passersby. I think, in particular, you'll probably see one mouse with kind of a fine red cape come down and talk softly to a couple of other sort of. They have sort of a military style garb to them before all of them leave pretty abruptly.
I'll deal with that. I guess I'll ask the bartender if they know anything.
Oh, oh yeah, that'll be Basil. Really bringing trouble around here, if you ask me.
Really?
Yeah,
I've often
he
heard
wasn't
him.
always this way.
Are you talking before he became a defender, or did he change?
Yeah,
more recently.
he'd come here on his fishing trips all the time. And, well, he got all this ruckus about the cots over out east. And changed him, you know. I think he had some bad experiences, but there ain't no
Hmm.
trouble here in Walton, and I don't know why he's bringing it to our doorstep.
Oh, maybe he's just passing through.
Ah, he's recruiting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, old
Oh.
Fennel up at town hall is raising a big stir about it.
In support of Basil, or he's upset
Opposition.
about it?
Opposition of Basil and
Oy.
shoot. Basil and crap. She'll give you a name. Juniper. Juniper.
Is that a name we know?
You wouldn't recognize the
Okay.
names.
We haven't seen.
I think like she'll be like, yeah, you know, Juniper's been mayor here for a long time, and people are getting real dissatisfied. Don't know why he puts up with this. You know, Basil's got no official capacity here.
Interesting. Well, I hope whatever trouble he usually attracts stays away from your fine town. No sense bringing it on you, simple folk.
It's at this point that Butter finally wakes up enough to like realize that he's sitting at a table, and he asks the bartender, "Do you have any of that Crystal
Water?
Pepsi?"
Crystal Pepsi?
I'm
afraid I don't know what that is.
saw that a long time ago. No,
Crystal Pepsi.
been
Is it a?
yearning for that high
like a
ever
salt?
since. I don't know what it was, but it was.
I'm afraid we don't sell anything that will get you high here. You have
Would
to go
you-
to the back alleys for that.
Do you have any of the Josta? Saw some of
Josta?
that as well. Am I still dreaming?
I
What-
think you
what
might be
about
coming down with
Surge?
from whatever that Crystal Pepsi was.
Haven't had it in years.
Oh, strong
I
stuff then.
think. Or was it yesterday? No. And then he kind of trails off.
Well, I've got water and wine, and I've got granola and berries and seeds. Meager offerings, I know. I'm afraid we're short on water. Actually, have to charge you for water for once.
But not for the
Major,
wine.
glances out the window at the lakeside.
No, I'd charge you for the wine as well. Major, you glance out the lakes out at the pond, and you see dawn is breaking, coming up over the trees, and you see a bunch of fisher mice and other small folk sort of getting rafts together. You can see out the window the whole length of the docks. I think in particular you'll notice Timony,
Timony.
the wheel from Tormund's Tower that you bumped into.
Yeah. Timony wanted magic items.
Yeah, he and his mole friend are getting into a boat outside.
Ooh.
The bartender will continue I'll charge you for the wine as well, of course, but normally water would be free of charge.
Butter leans over to Thorl and, too loudly, he says, "Well, that sounds like a ripoff considering water's kind of all over the place."
I mean, that's what I thought. We said something about the purification plant being down or something, but I've always drunk straight from the river.
Do you mean trees?
Never heard me none.
The trees are down.
I didn't.
If you're needed to drink pond water straight, which I would not recommend, this is not legal advice.
I won't let you tell me what to do. You don't know what kind of water I've drank.
I'm sure I don't. I just normally, our guests prefer pure, clean water without any fish feces in them. And
Fish feces is just the beginning of it.
And how do you go about removing the fish feces? After all, water is so fluctuating in its nature.
Well, it's a
That's where the
complicated process
nutrients
that I
are.
am not nearly qualified to explain. I will tell you that I have been in the plant before, and that there is a lot of troughs with some sort of rocks in them, and they pass the water over it, and they heat it up, and there's some nonsense with that.
What type of plant is it in?
It's a tree, I
Is it
believe.
like a conifer or a Brussels of some sort?
I believe it's made out of acorns, actually.
So
Ah.
a tree.
Yeah,
Fine
but they're
choice.
mid. It's a building. Should be well. If that's all, I've got other
I'll take
guests.
you up on that offer of wine.
Very well.
I'll take one
Petunia,
on
can
him
you
as well.
take these orders here? I've got to go check on some guests that just walked in, and she'll kind of walk away at another kind of. They're both like voles, right? Like water-ish rodents. And so like
Ish rodents.
that's actually, if you look at the dictionary definition of vole, that's what it says.
Bulls don't live in the water.
I know, but they like to swim.
Do they?
Yeah, they dive for fish and whatnot, right?
Okay, so yes, especially the water vole.
You dare doubt me?
I think of voles as like similar to moles.
I think they
Moles.
should.
Anyways, this is like
capybaras.
sort of diminutive vole, like shorter than a mouse will come over and kind of like pop some mugs on top of the bar for you and take your payment. And she'd be like,
Which
anything else?
is...
I would say this is good.
It's usually 2 pips for a meal with no qualifiers.
Yeah, I think 2 pips is fair for this.
Man, I'm under 50.
This bed and breakfast doesn't even come with a breakfast.
It's a fancy establishment.
That's fair.
Anyways, she'll like hold out her paw expectantly.
Oh, I'm gonna tip an extra pip, honestly. I'll make it 3.
Thank you. And she'll like scurry away to go help other customers.
Is this mug something that like they own and they're gonna want to reuse, or is this something I can just take to go?
I think, as in all restaurants,
You're
they
allowed to
expect
take
it
it
back.
I
They're
didn't
not
know-
gonna harass you.
I at that level, I didn't like at this size. I didn't
so
know if
it's
this
like,
was just like an eggcorn cap or something.
I mean, it basically is, right? Like they've
Yeah.
taken a seed and a nut and they've hollowed it out and put a handle on it, right? It's not like the fine. It's not like fine dishware, right?
Mhm.
But it's average quality. It's basically like the quality of something you would find at a Holiday Inn, right? Like
You know
easily
what? Major
replaced.
M's in a good mood. I don't think he really even cares. He's just gonna walk out the door with it
Yeah.
to
Yep.
go over and see what's going on with Timony.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of like get out into the sort of gradually waking up city streets, saunter down along the dock and get to Timony, and Podzol is the mole's name, as you would know. And they're like, they've just set off from the dock and are kind of not looking in your direction. They seem to be discussing something in frustrated tones.
I'm just gonna sort of sit at the edge of the dock and stay quiet and just listen for a minute, see if I can pick up anything, like a word here or there.
Yeah, I think you'll get the beginning of the conversation, like as they're kind of going off. You'll gather pretty quickly just from listening that they're trying really hard not to be overheard. But it's like Timothy will be like, I swear you can just dive in, I swear, just go in, it'll be fine, I promise. And like Podzel's like, nah, not going nowhere. It's your idea. And like that kind of thing, like, and they'll go, kind of that way, and they'll be like, it's like just a quick dive, we'll get the haul and go. And then at that point, I think they're just like gone out of earshot with the whispered tones that they were talking. And you'll see like they kind of pedal, if you watch them for a while, they pedal well out beyond where the Fisher mice are going, but still kind of like above where you can see now in the clear water, there's sort of drowned buildings underneath. They're still like above one of them in particular and kind of circling. They've dropped anchor there.
Okay. We can cut back to the others. I just wanted to watch them for a bit.
Yeah, I think the breakfast goes easily. Titus is still eating. You hear a bit of a commotion outside. Some raised voices as there's one mouse in particular. This time of day, the market isn't quite set up yet, and it seems to be it seems that a mouse has taken advantage of this and he is using it as like a sort of public forum, and they're sort of standing up and saying something that you can't really hear through the stone of the wall, with a crowd of mice gathered around.
Do you suppose he's raising such a ruckus about? Shall we go and see?
I think
Alright.
so.
I'll leave my.
Are you
pings-
guys with me, or are you at the tavern still?
I was eating, but I think seeing that, I would pay my tab and wander over to see what's happening.
Butter effectively like shoots the one and one, and then like just kind of tosses it into the air the seeds and eats them. Walks away.
Nice.
Terrifying.
Like kind of cartoon style, like one at a
Yeah,
time.
bonk, 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 bonk.
Yeah, you open the front door and immediately are kind of able to pick up more of the sort of speech that is being given, and it's a female mouse, and she's dressed in fine clothing. She's standing on a little box, and she's like,
Can you start over? We missed some of it.
She's like, "Oh, good mouse. I'm glad you're here to listen. I'm saying to all these great mice out here that it's time that we take our city back, you know? Juniper is inviting criminals and warmongers into City Hall at this very moment. And if we don't do something about it, they're going to take all of our young men to war that we didn't sign up for." And it like goes on like that for a while.
Yeah.
She talks about
How young
how
are we
they're-
talking?
there's beavers ripping up our trees, polluting our pond. They're flooding our city day by day.
Boo.
Yeah, it's that kind of gist. You get the gist that like she's gathered a pretty popular crowd around the perimeter of the sort of clearing. If you're looking for it, you'll see that not everybody's really on board with it. Some of the worker mice are casting her sort of dirty glances, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
He poisoned the water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague onto our houses.
Yeah.
He did?
No.
But are we gonna sit around and wait until he does?
and she'll like kind of end on it, be like, next week when election time comes, vote Fennel Streamwise for common sense and decency.
How do you spell that?
COMMON.
Slow down, I haven't started writing yet.
It'll be on your ballot if you're a citizen of Walton.
Was Fennel the name that was given to me for the water purification plant as well?
No.
That's a different name. Okay.
It would be different. I don't think you were given a name for the purification
I thought
plant.
she said something about you should ask this guy down at the plant. Maybe not.
There is that does sound about Ren. Ren is the guy you would have been told to ask about.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad she's only calling for votes. Kind of a little worried this mob would wind up doing something more drastic. But
Major
I don't
M
know.
sadly tucks his pitchfork back into his pack.
well, there's a lot happening in the town, but I believe there's still a young mouse missing in frog territory, so we should probably get looking for him. Anyone have anything else to do before we head out?
I mean, has anything changed with the two on the boat?
No, they're still kind of loitering. They're looking down at the water. You can see they're kind of like neither of them is in the water, but they're like kind of reaching in and like kind of tucking their head underneath the water, that sort of thing. From this distance, it's really, really hard to tell what they're doing. We're talking like they're maybe 30, 40 feet out into the water.
Yeah. I think Major M is just going to linger there for a little bit, and if they make any motion that looks like they're looking towards the dock, Major M's just going to like take his hand up and wave, see if they'll notice him, but not really like shouting for them or anything. Just sort of like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I think Timony in particular, like periodically does like a suspicious glance over his shoulder to make sure he's not being watched. And I think on like maybe the third or fourth try of him doing that, you get his attention and he like kind of freezes, and then he kind of elbows Podzol and pokes over his shoulder and says something quiet.
Timmy is doing a very bad job of checking if he's being watched since I'm trying to be noticed watching them.
It would seem that you are not what he was expecting to see.
in the most obvious position to be watching them from.
Yeah, the morning is warming up. It's an overcast kind of day, very cloudy. But you're getting sort of the sun filtering down in the morning. It's been maybe half an hour since you woke up. Yeah.
Right. Are they making any motions to come towards us? Or
No, they sort of like they have a hushed conversation and then they turn back to what they were doing.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that then.
Okay.
Just wanted to say hi to an old friend back there. You remember Timothy, of course.
A business associate. I think we sold him things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
A couple of items.
If I recall correctly,
no,
you sold him your Be Understood spell, which will be interesting.
Timothy was one of the few that were around back in the old days with my rivalry against Tormund.
Ah, yes. That
I think-
long and storied conflict.
One of like the passing work mice will be like kind of chatting, and then like at the name Tormund, like, but what?
I wink at him.
Yeah, I mean, he just goes back to his work.
Yeah.
All right. Off on the trail.
Do
I
we have to
suppose so.
walk again?
If there's adventure to be had, who am I to stop us? After one more moment, and Major is going to finish his wine and then walk back up the hill to the tavern and place it on one of the tables before coming back down.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah, you get kind of a confused look from Petunia, the waitress. But yeah, no problems.
No foul.
All right. Yeah, if you're setting out from town, I think it's still very early in the morning. There's actually a lot of mice kind of leaving town with you, so you're able to get kind of lost in the crowd and follow the crowd. You remember exactly where the site of the bandit attack was. It was not far, maybe an hour's travel outside the town. It would have been going kind of northeast from the town back towards Tormund's Tower, where you came from. And I need to roll dice, because that's always fun.
You
Nothing
get
that
to roll dice.
nothing, as far as you're aware, happens. And then
Oh, thank goodness.
less than an hour down the east road from Walton, beneath a canopy of blooming dogwoods, you reach the site of the frog's attack on Titus's caravan. Now, on the third morning since the robbery, and following the recent rains, a few signs still remain of the attack. While you remember the church mice diligently cleaning the road of debris, even in their distressed state, to ensure the safety of travelers, you know what to look for, and you can make out a small puddle in the mud beneath the road that is vaguely mouse-sized, as well as deep scrapes of powerful legs kicking against soft earth by the pond banks. Beneath the thick reeds on the banks of the pond, you can make out a half-submerged spear, and it's embedded, and also embedded in the roots of the nearest dogwood. You can clearly make out darts that are not of mousecraft. Yeah, to your right, the road falls away into a thick muck on the pond edge. To your left, the ground rises up in a clay bank, and it's all underneath sort of the boughs of this dogwood.
Did Titus give us a general idea of how many frogs had hit him? How big was the band?
I don't think that you asked. I think that the gist of the conversation was they hit us so quickly that we didn't even know it was happening.
Okay. Are we able to make anything out from all of the signs? Like how many footprints there are or anything? Or is it's all too murky to really get any good numbers?
Not only is it murky, it's been a few days and this is a well-traveled path. So
Right.
it's at least like standing up on the road where you are, it's hard to make out anything more than what I've just described.
Okay. Well, not the hottest of trails, but I think those marks over there give us at least an initial direction to follow. Don't know that there's anything else to do but head that way.
Which marks are you referring to?
The like dragging something heavy direction.
Yeah, I think, you would see basically it's like something had kicked off against the mud and now the mud is hardened. And it's down. So you've got, here, I'll draw it.
Probably easier.
Yeah. So you've got the road. It's kind of like a stone-ish road, but like it's like mostly dirt, right? But it's got some paving stones along the way. Pebbles, really. Paving pebbles. The road is kind of heading northeast, right? So this is northeast. This is to Walton. The most like immediately recognizable thing is that there is kind of the trunk. So there's this like clay wall on your left. It's pretty steep, right? And then sort of like hanging off the edge of this clay wall, you've got this is the base of the dogwood, and sort of the roots of the dogwood dig into the ground, right? The sort of hard earth of the clay, at least the sticky earth of the clay, kind of holding this berm together. And then down off to your right, the ground slopes down this way. So this is upslope, actually. This is upslope, right? And like here is kind of a dense bed of reeds, right? And then this is pond out here, right? So you saw kind of in the roots here, you saw a few darts that have been kind of lodged in the wood and the clay. You saw down here, you saw some like embedded footprint pushing marks, right? So it's like kind of like this. Down here, you saw a spear that looks like it's maybe was thrown into the water here. What else did you see? There's a puddle that's been recently filled by the rain yesterday, right here, that's kind of shaped like a mouse. And yeah, that's the gist of it.
Butter goes up to the puddle that's shaped like a mouse and tries to find out, is he bigger than this mouse?
Yeah, you kind of stand next to it. The first thing that you notice is, yeah, that's definitely a mouse butt. Someone definitely fell on their butt here. The second thing you notice is that it's way smaller than yours.
I knew it.
Butter superiority once again.
I think he's gonna go over to the spear now.
Yeah, so the spear, you kind of walk up to it, and it's kind of hard to get out into the water where it is unless you're willing to get your boots wet. From where you're kind of standing on dry land, at least, you can see pretty clearly that the spear's been broken. The head is down, right? And it seems to be lodged in something that's keeping it upright. So it's not like swaying with the gentle current of the pond. It's just kind of like stuck there, and the water is rippling around it. So something is sticking it into the earth.
I mean, he already has one cool spear. He might as well get a second. Not afraid to get a little wet.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to pick your way out to the water and like investigate it closer. Here you can see even before you were walking up to it, the water was super mucky and murky. So you can only see like a quarter inch into it, right? And it's at least half an inch deep. It's up to your waist at this point.
He tries to pull the spear out.
So the spear comes out. And I think in sort of the action of pulling it out, you see a little glint of something at the end of the spear, but it doesn't come with the spear as you pull it out. The spear itself, it's, finely made, but it's, kind of ruined at this point. The only thing worth salvaging is probably the spear tip, which is, some good craftsman has made it.
Okay. He'll keep
That's the only thing you would expect to survive after this rain.
Yeah. He would keep the spear tip, and he tries to figure out what the thing that glinted was.
Yeah, are you reaching in and grabbing it?
By reaching in. Yes.
All right, let me roll some dice. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you reach in, you grab some, it feels like a soft woven material, and you pull it out, and it's a satchel that's about mouse sized, right? And inside the satchels, you can see there's some soggy, what was once documents, papers that have been ruined by the water and the muck. And the only thing still really of value is a small golden ring that is perfectly mouse sized, and it might be worth 20 pips.
All right. Do we have our hirelings with us?
I'd say so, yeah. Unless you told them to stay.
I don't think so. Butter tosses he takes the ring. It's his own, his precious. And he tosses the satchel with all the ruined stuff to either Sorrel or Major, whichever one. It's similar to a bouquet toss. One of them can catch it.
Just like over the back.
Yeah.
Sorrel will catch it.
Yeah, it's
Examine things
like
again.
it's just paper and cloth.
And the paper is like beyond saving, presumably.
It's like as you touch it with your paw, it kind of disintegrates in your hands. Like it's been soaking mucky water for 3 days now.
Are there any markings on the satchel itself? Any like monograms or anything?
Yeah, you can kind of like investigating the cloth and looking close at it. You can see sort of like in the stitching, there's been emblazoned a symbol that you would have seen on Titus's caravan. It's the symbol of the church mouse. I wrote down what that was. Let me see. Yeah, it's the symbol of the church mouse company. Oh yeah, it's a book with a quill sticking out of it.
I'm not surprised to have found this. They were the target after all. So boys, what do we think happened here? Frogs came out of the water, ambushed, then went where? Back into the water?
Is that not where they
It'd be
come
only
from?
natural for them.
Would they have gone deeper in, maybe to throw off followers, perhaps? Especially if they're dragging cargo. I don't know if they'd want to bring that through the water. This is like the water here is just the pond itself, right?
Yeah.
This is the large escape route.
Yeah, so there's like the shape of the pond is generally like this. Right.
Whoa.
Walton is located here, so you're going up this way.
Okay.
Where's
And
Goggins?
Goggins, here.
Okay.
The bastion itself is like center of the pond.
Yeah, it'd be like around here.
My gut tells me they probably went back into the water, but I don't know. I want to be sure.
Which way is the
Let's say
like
we,
pushing, making it seem like it was pushing towards? Was it pushing towards the water, or was it pushing away from the water?
So this sort of imprint that you're talking about, like
Yeah.
the kicking off spot, yeah. So you're standing down here, right, at the spear, and you kind of pick your way up through the reeds. I think the first thing you'll kind of immediately notice, being an experienced adventurer, is that this is a perfect place for an ambush, right? The reeds are just so dense that it's hard to see anything in there. I think the next thing, like once you get up to this, is that clearly this mouse has jumped up on, or this whatever it is, it's actually not a mouse, has jumped up onto the road. And you can kind of like, from where you're standing, you can look up towards the road and look at the darts in the wall and see that whatever was kicking off from here was shooting darts from down here as well.
What do we know that kicks off a
Well, that's-
soccer game? A football game? Man, there are so many kinds of games.
There are indeed. Well, there's lots of evidence of the initial fight. I want to see what's up by the tree, see if there's any, I don't know, drag roots or broken bushes or anything like that that might make us think that they went off deeper into the forest.
Yeah.
Otherwise-
You kind of, so you're standing up here behind where Butter was,
Mhm.
and you kind of like investigate this bank more closely. And I think it doesn't take too long for you, like investigating this bank, right? It's kind of a sheer cliff of clay. And looking closely at it, you can see very clearly that there's a set of gouges that are fresh, as in they have not been worn down by the rain, climbing up the side of this bank.
How big are these gouges? Are they relatively small?
They're definitely smaller than the kickoff prints that Butter is investigating.
I'll call the other two over and point out the tracks I found and say, I think we might have found some sign of our friend Hayseed. These are definitely more recent than the initial fight. If he came back here and went looking around, this is probably the direction he went.
Let us follow him into the end.
Well, let's follow him till respectfully the middle. I have no intention of making this the end yet.
But once we stop following him, it will have been the end.
Well, it depends on what you define as the end.
The end of us following him.
Well, yes, we can go to that. But no further.
Aye, aye.
You can see like Lavender kind of like standing behind you and like trying very hard to keep up with this conversation. Yeah, you know, I think you're able to follow those tracks up the clay bank. It's a pretty treacherous path, and with your full pack, it's not easy to climb up directly. But I think with some effort, you're able to kind of climb up to the top of this bank and relocate the tracks that you were following. And it doesn't take very long before it becomes very clear what Hayseed was following, if this was Hayseed. There are deep gouges through kind of mossy clumps at the base of this tree, right? So there's moss on the base of the tree here, right? Kind of in the shadow. And then there's a like as if something had been dragged through it. Like this deep dark kind of, you know, like the blackness of the underside of the moss has been turned up going in from, yeah, in that direction.
I think we found our path.
Let us start at the beginning, so that we can get to the middle, which is the end.
Huzzah!
Yeah, I think we just keep following the signs as we find them.
Okay. Yeah, you follow the trail deeper and deeper into the woods. And as you get deeper, more covered underneath the canopy of trees, the path only gets easier and easier to follow. Where once it was just cuts through exposed moss, kind of careless bumps. Here it's like the rain hasn't washed away or like smoothed out the obvious drag prints across soft earth, right? Or there's branches that have just been completely flattened, right? That sort of thing. Um, and the trail kind of leads kind of northwest, deeper and deeper into the woods. But after about a half hour of following it, you give me a second. After about a half hour of following it, uh, suddenly the trail stops and then turns sharply to the left.
Hmm.
It's going kind of vaguely back in the direction of Walton and the Lily Pond. It's hard to tell exactly geographically since you've been following this path through the woods where you are.
Now that's interesting. Usually, if I saw a path changing like that, I would have assumed that it was, someone trying to be evasive. But they didn't do anything to hide the rest of their very obvious traces. That's a little.
You think this could be a trap for whoever was following them, aka us?
Perhaps. Although it's been 3 days, I don't know that they would have lighted, played a trap for that long. I do think we should be careful. I wonder if the obvious turn is a mislead, perhaps? I don't know.
There's only one way to find out.
Oh god, the world is shrinking!
Actually, if you're like down here, so it's gone kind of this way.
No, you misunderstand. The world is growing. Our view is shrinking. Relative.
Whoa.
Maybe they just forgot to look at their compass for a while.
It might be. I suppose we keep following the trail, although maybe we should do a quick look around and make sure they didn't, suddenly start hiding their tracks better. And this is a false trail. Won't cost us much time.
How much time do you want to spend looking?
I think like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Just like keep going the original trajectory for like whatever is the scale equivalent of like 100 yards.
Yeah.
And then cast around a little bit. And if we don't see anything soon, like they're frogs, they're not small.
Yeah.
So even if they're being stealthy, there's a limit to what they can avoid. But before we go blindly following the confusing trail, let's take a look around.
Let me look at. Trying to remember how luck checks work in this game. Okay. So you're spending 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'll give you an extra 1 in 6 chance for every 10 minutes you spend looking.
Okay. I don't know. 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Roll a d6,
Right.
and if it's a 2 or less,
That's a 5.
5.
No dice.
The only really obvious signs of anything you're seeing here are the trail that you've already been following, the one that Dogleg's back.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm, seeing things where there ain't anything to see, but I still don't like this turn. I think we should all be on our guard.
I don't think Lavender can hold me.
Well, she's also not your guard. You
Oh.
gotta pay her a lot better for that.
Do I need to carry Lavender then?
No, I think we'll be okay. But thank you.
All right. Seems quite confused about why you said we have to be on our guard if we're not actually going to follow through on that, but
Just keep your spear
Okay.
handy.
I'm the one with the hand. Never mind. This is getting nowhere.
Let me just write down spear of handiness in my list of ideas. um, yeah. So you've kind of reached this dog leg. What is your next course of action?
I think we follow the dog leg. Assuming that, like, the 20 minutes has suitably convinced me that there is not another trail. Follow the main trail and just be careful.
Okay.
Although, Butter, do you want to, or not Butter, Major, do you want to, follow us from a distance like you did earlier? Maybe go off the trail a little bit and follow parallel in case somebody tries to get the drop on us?
I like the way you're thinking. And Major M will disappear into a nearby bush.
Yeah. Roll me a dex save just to gauge how stealthy you're being.
Let's see. I'm rolling a d20, right? Yeah. Okay. That is a 3.
Okay. Yeah, since you saved, I think I'm going to give you advantage on any like sort of checks to observe surroundings, right? Since
Nice.
you have a different angle, right? You're not kind of in the main path. But so Major goes deeper into the woods. What did the other two do?
I think Sorrel's perspective is to just keep following the trail, but he's paranoid now, I guess. Although if we have, if we have one person who's actively being stealthy, Sorrel isn't also going to try to sneak.
Okay.
We'll just be, weapon out, being careful.
Okay. Yeah. So the trail suddenly turns sharply to the southwest, kind of vaguely in the direction of Walton and the Lily Pond. You follow not only gouged earth, but now muddy mouse prints. And you follow them over root and gully and stone. And after another maybe 20 minutes of walking, you've now followed a pretty good way, and you can see sort of just through the trees. You're now moving downhill again. You can see hints of the lily pond, like light glistening through trees, right? That sort of thing. And you get the vague impression that yes, you are now within eyesight of the lily pond if you had a clear line of sight. The ground beneath you falls, and sort of in front of you, there is a. So you know how like water runs downhill, and sometimes it hits an obstruction and it sort of collects and creates a mud pit, which like for us humans is like you can step over it, but since you're mice, right? Like this, 3-foot wide mud pit is a pretty large obstacle in your way. It's filled with dead leaves and sort of upturned sticks, and clearly, whatever rainwater runs down towards the lily pond, it pushes detritus and various objects into this gully where it collects. The mud is still wet from fresh rains yesterday. There's a large log that sort of like straddles the mud pit. It looks like a tree has fallen over it at one point. But let's see. Yeah, that's about it.
Do the trails, or does the trail, I should say, go through this pit?
It does. Goes directly through the pit.
Are we able to see anything on the other side?
No, and no, it's a pretty good way across the other side, and then there's sort of a rise in the earth. Pull up paint again. So you've reached this mud pit, right? It's sort of shaped like this. And then around here, there's a tree that has fallen over. So it's sort of root ball. It's a smaller tree, right? But its root ball is sort of lifted up. And it's going like this way. Right? You're standing up here-ish, right? There's sort of like there's a portion here which it looks like is still full of water on top of the mud. And the path goes down like this. It goes into the mud, but then you lose track of any path. Presumably, whatever was there has been covered up. And then on the other side, there's this sort of rise, right? So like there's moss covering over roots over here. And so it's really hard to tell, but there is a path to go up that you could potentially climb directly across. Right, so this log is sort of sitting on top of a rise, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So this is also uphill.
I think they drowned.
I hope not. That would be a pretty unfortunate end for our quest.
Let's hope we haven't reached the middle.
Well said. How do we want to get across this thing? I don't fancy taking a dip in the mud itself.
Are we able to go around?
Yeah, you could go around.
Well, that was easy. We've defeated your puzzle master.
Yeah, which way do you want to go around?
Oh, fuck, there was a second part to the puzzle.
Well, you guys should go the far way around, right? Because I'm going the close way.
Probably.
We
We'll say
defeated
you
your puzzle again.
We'll say Major's kind of found himself out this way, kind of behind some exposed stuff.
Yeah, I would go around like the bottom right side of your drawing. And then if we get to that other side, can we climb on the log into the center pretty easily?
Other side. So you're trying to go
Like if we loop around to the bottom left,
around like
Yeah.
this and then climb up onto this log?
would we be able to?
It's a little hard to tell from where you're standing. So basically this side of the gully is significantly higher than where you're standing. I think Major might have a better idea. Major, I think from your vantage point, you would have a better idea. And I will tell you in DM what you can see, but if you want to communicate to the rest of the party, you're gonna have to break your stealth.
Okay.
We need to
Laurel,
come
I
up with
think
like
we
a
should-
complex. We should come up with a complex series of bird calls that lets Major communicate with us. What's up, Butter?
I think we should go both ways. I think we should just walk all the way around the mud pit.
Good idea.
You never know where they may have sprung out of the mud.
True.
That's exactly what Brennan is texting Kevin right now.
There is one more thing that I need to tell him. Hang on. Um,
So this whole mud pit was not created by the tree falling over. The tree has just fallen over in the mud pit.
Uh, yes. So the tree, it looks like, was once rooted where you're standing, basically, a long time ago. But it's decomposed. It's ripped up the earth with it, and kind of let this natural depression in the earth happen. So, is that your question? Did I answer it?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah. This isn't a dam necessarily. This is just where water is catching.
It's a vernal pool.
Vernal pool with a V?
Yeah. As in like the vernal meaning spring.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of vernal pools are made. Trees fall over, it creates a divot, it rains in the spring, and then frogs are like, yippee! And then it dries up in the summer.
Oh, poor frogs.
Well, they're already frogs at that point. They don't need to be tadpoles anymore.
Well, so you said you want to loop around?
Yeah, I think Sorrel would just start working his way across the far side from Major.
It's a pretty large kind of gully, so it will take you some time to get around it, but you can kind of clearly chart a path from where you're standing. I figure if you're going to go through with it, it's another like 20 minutes of picking your way over kind of uneven ground.
I mean, that seems safer unless Major gives us some sort of signal to change plan.
Caw.
How long would it take me to get back to them? Am I like way off at this point? Am I on the
No,
opposite side of the?
you're within distance that you could run up to them in like 30 seconds. Like
Okay.
clear eyesight, you're not that far from them.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's worth being stealthy in the moment. This seems like a pretty clear reason to go talk to them. Yeah. So I'll walk back up to the group.
Okay, yeah, you guys are like trying to start your way down, and you hear Major kind of crash down the leaves behind you.
Oh, hold on a moment before you go trudging through this. If well, you can't quite see it from this angle, but there's a clear path to get up just to the top of the log there. If you just go the way the tracks are leading. There's a whole nother gully, not the one that we're going around right now, but you'll be able to see it if you go up to the log.
All right. Lead on then.
And I'll show them to the route that I had spotted from the other side.
Yeah, so just to clarify, you're still going around the 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 pit that you're standing in front of, the mud pit. You're still going around it, but you're trying to get up on top of the log. Is that right?
Yeah, you said in the message there was a clear path to follow.
Yeah. And so you would be able to confirm to them that like the path they were going. Sorry.
Oh,
if that
okay.
was not
Sorry.
clear.
I did not make that connection. That
If that would have changed what you would have done, then we can retcon that.
I don't know what major, so I said it. We did it. Let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys, you kind of pick your way around the mud pit. It's completely full of like kind of rotting dead brown leaves. There's sticks that are kind of like embedded in it, kind of like the spear that you saw earlier, just sticking straight up out of it. The mud is really soft and dark, like really dark mud. And a couple of times, each of you in turn kind of slips and almost slides into the mud, picking around these banks, but you're able to get around it. And you see, like Major told you, that there is like some overgrown portion of this log. It's kind of embedded itself in this little hillside that you can pick your way on top of, stand on top of the log, and get a good look around. from the top of the log, you will see. First of all, the footing is very precarious up here. This is a rotting log, and so like it's got little sharp ends everywhere, and like it's all very slick. It's holding the moisture from yesterday's rain. A couple of times you feel it like crack underneath your modest weight. Um, from up here, you can see far ahead of you, in the direction that you were traveling. The lily pond is indeed right ahead of you, and you seem to be kind of heading towards like the pond kind of inlets a little bit, and there's sort of like there's a hillside on one side, and you're on another hillside, and the tracks seem to be leading toward where those two hills meet in a sort of runnel, if that makes sense.
Right.
Um, the last thing, how far up the log are you traveling?
I think if it's particularly precarious, Sorrel would probably hang back a little bit. He just wanted to get up and see if there was anything mainly focused on the mud pit itself that the tree gives us a better vantage point on. But if there's nothing obvious,
Yeah.
I think he would pretty quickly just turn back to the tracks.
No, I think you investigate the mud puddle. You'll notice that this sort of watery part where it's particularly wet and there's dark water down at the bottom. You can see that it's like infested with worms and like small mites and creatures. Like they seem to be feasting on whatever decomposing materials down here.
Gross.
Let's see. The leaves, the water has flown down this way, right? And a large collection of leaves, you would have seen from down there a large collection of leaves just kind of stuck up against this root ball. What else can you see from here? There is actually one stick in particular that strikes you as odd. It's kind of over here. And it's strange in that where everything else is like covered in mud and decomposing, this is a particularly fresh stick. You can even see a little bit of recently alive material in the stem of the stick. It's got a green leaf on it, unlike the brown leaves all around you.
Weird one.
Little Charlie Brown stick.
Can we tell from what tree it fell from?
No, not at first. And then you look a little bit closer and you're like, well, Major was hiding in a bush up here. It is kind of the right location to have had something snap off. Looks like the leaf is the same too.
Now, what might that signify?
That
Somebody else hiding in those bushes, perhaps?
Major was trying to trick us.
Major's been a frog all along.
I knew it. I always knew you had too much hops.
Practically an IPA.
I like my frogs like I like my beer. Hoppy.
I kind of want to, next one that I lead, anyone who makes a joke that's good enough becomes canon and we just see what happens.
That just sounds hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to prep anything.
What would that stick mean? The stick was probably fresher.
So, Major is with us.
He is. Yes.
Okay. And he came running out of that bush.
I mean, I didn't break it off, did I?
No, you don't remember getting close enough to the edge to have done anything like that.
Okay.
We identified the path. You said the path leads out of the mud pit and goes towards like the gully.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with this pit, but I mean, that's the path. Do we just keep moving? I will say that that's by the water where the hills meet. Sort of strikes me as a good place to make a camp or a base of some sort. We might be getting close.
Can I identify what plant the stick would have fallen off of?
It fell off of the bush you were in.
Or, okay,
This-
it did
this
fall
big
off
one,
the bushes.
yeah.
Okay.
Now, what type of plant? Let me look up bushes native to this area.
That is not necessary.
A leafy one.
It's a magnolia bush. It's blooming.
Ooh, nice. Pretty.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Well, let's move on.
Add some pink flowers to it. There you go.
Yay.
They're only buds. Well,
So it's the mark of the devil. 3 6s.
you know.
I think that means we need to investigate.
Oh god, there's 6
Trudge all the way
sixes.
back.
What's in the
2
bush?
devils. You know what? Major M has had enough of this guessing game. Major M is going back into the bush.
Okay. It's going to take you another 20 minutes to crawl around back to it.
Oh, God.
I vote we leave it behind. Sometimes sticks fall in the forest, whether or not they make a sound.
But if no one was there, do we know it made a sound?
Okay. So you're moving on?
My vote is
Sounds
to
like
just
it.
keep following the trail.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to pick up the trail on the other side of this mud pit. The gouges through sort of earth and plant matter and whatnot are still present, but it's maybe like 30, 40 paces down the trail. I would like all of you to roll a luck check.
Is that a d20?
Just straight
It's a
D20 or D6?
D6.
I rolled a 3.
I also rolled a 3.
I rolled a 4. Suck
Hey,
it.
let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a peaceful morning. You can hear splashes of, it looks like there's some birds on the water. Maybe ducks out ahead of you. I now need everyone to roll
A
will
second
save.
luck check. Is that a d20?
No, that's a D20. Roll under your will.
8.
Will,
That
wisdom.
does work.
Wisdom, is
Wis-
that the stat?
It's will.
Will is the stat.
It's will. Okay.
I succeed.
I rolled 11 out of 12.
So it kind
I
of
got 6 out of
occurs to
10.
you, each of you, all at once, that you haven't seen any mouse prints in a while. You know, you've gone maybe 6 or 7 feet down this path, down the hill, and all you're seeing is the signs of something being dragged a few days ago.
Had we seen signs of dragging in the earlier path?
Yeah. So earlier it was dragging, and then you would see signs of like mouse prints that were much, much fresher.
Yeah. Right now we're seeing just dragging,
Just
And
dragging.
no mouse
but no
print.
mouse prints.
Back
and the
to
last-
my earlier suggestion that I made hours ago at this point. That did he drown?
God, I hope not. Can't really do much about that. I mean, do we want to go back and check the watery area where there was a lot of fresh decomposing material?
Butter like rolls his eyes but he mostly rolls his head, and then he turns around and starts slogging back towards the muddy area, with the goal of picking up the stick and kind of prodding into the mud to see what happens.
So, the muddy area, and you would remember this before you walk back. There's kind of like roots that are holding this in place. So it's like it's kind of at the bottom of the basin, if that makes sense. And then there's like a steep wall above it. And then sort of the land goes down around it. So this is all uphill. This is steep uphill. So it's kind of hard to like reach it without going down into the mud.
I have a hook
That's the
arm.
point. You have a hook arm. You can reach it with your hook arm.
I do so.
Okay. So you
Got
kind
a
of get
lot
up
of
onto
mileage
this.
out of that hook arm.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's
That's got to be one of the all-time greatest RPG item
Yeah.
selections.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're able to like kind of stand up here. You pick your way back up the hill, stand up here, and kind of poke around in the mud. You're able to kind of stir up the muck a little bit. The worms are kind of sluggishly moving away from you as you prod them. You get a hint of something in the mud, actually. It's covered and it's dark, but it seems to be cloth.
I
Bad.
hook it and try to pull it up.
Okay, you kind of like get your hook onto it and get a hook on it. How hard are you pulling?
I mean, I'm not immediately going with hiya. It's more like a pulling
Okay.
until like still
Yeah.
nothing, and then like
So it's pretty easy to dislodge whatever it is you've got. You get pretty good purchase on it and pull it up. It's a backpack of some sort,
another
covered in
one.
mud. It's still dripping.
He searches it for
actually
a
looks
second gold ring.
Almost identical to the one that you found. You found earlier. Yeah. So a second gold ring. You open it up. You see a set of rations. You see a small spyglass, and you see a set of darts and a blowgun.
Wow.
The other thing you're going to notice, since you noticed it on the earlier backpack, you would also know to look for it here. It has the same stitching of a book and a quill.
Are those darts different from the ones that were in the clay wall or whatever?
Yeah. Noticeably different. They are definitely something you could have bought in Walton. The ones that you noticed in the clay wall are kind of noticeably not.
Right.
Like
Not
sort of alien. Yeah.
Spooky. Rations, spyglass.
Are the rations any good?
Yeah. Fresh.
He nibbles on a
Couple
little
of-
bit of it as
Oh,
he
that's-
continues to search through.
Yeah. You like pick into a dried cranberry. It's tart.
A craisin, if you will.
A craisin, in fact, yeah.
It's a good backpack. So, I mean, this was probably hayseeds, right? It's not a great sign.
Well, back to work, and I continue to search for more stuff in the mud.
All right, how long would you like to poke around in this mud?
Until the others go through the backpack in its entirety.
And is there anything in particular you're looking for?
A body.
Yeah, so you're able to kind of dig in and like, this is kind of like you're not able to get from the top of this ridge into the mud. You're only able to get like a little bit of like maybe a paw's width of it's like handspan but for paws.
A paw span.
A
If
paw
you
span
will.
into the mud. So you're not able to like really dig into it like properly, but just like kind of churning the surface a little bit. You don't see anything else amiss particularly. A centipede sort of like a millipede, excuse me, sort of like lazily turns over as you push it.
Well, he doesn't seem to be in here, or at least not in a reachable amount.
I mean, it seems like something happened to him. We got
Could
tracks
he-
on one side of the mud and no tracks on the other.
Could he have potentially used that branch there to pull himself out of this quick mud?
Perhaps.
You're able to kind of like look up at the bush and look down at the mud. The distance is such that it's like he would have needed to bring the branch down with him, basically. Like you can't just reach up and grab the branch.
What if he was
Possible that-
very tall?
Is it possible that he was like? Is there such a slope that he could have been leaning on the branch? It breaks and that tumbles him down into the mud.
Yeah. So you're investigating the kind of bush by sight, looking for.
Yeah, I
like,
guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're able to see actually. In particular, there's one snapped branch that's sort of on the ridge side. It's fairly thick. I mean, it's thicker than your mousy arm, right? So it takes some considerable force, but perhaps if he was unfortunate enough.
Are there any signs on the other side of the bush? Like, can we find tracks of him, or
So
mouse tracks?
you're gonna
in-
kind of pick around this side of the bush
Yeah,
to investigate.
yeah.
Let me just tick the timer a little bit longer. So it takes you maybe 15 minutes to get back to the other side from where you were. You do, in fact, find a set of mousy prints. They are coming from down where you came up, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So you must have missed them on the way down, and Major would have been coming from this direction, so you wouldn't have seen them.
Yep.
But yes, it appears that he climbed up into this bush for some reason.
I mean, he was traveling days after. Right? Actually, is that true?
You were informed that he left yesterday.
Okay, so he's like 2 days after all of this happened. Why did he suddenly hide? Unless he saw the frogs themselves.
It is muddy water. There could be frogs, could have been frogs in this quick mud.
Oh, that's true.
I haven't found one yet with the pole arm, or the hook arm. Let me know if you want me to keep working on it.
It can't hurt anything.
All right, and then he walks 15 minutes again back to.
You guys
Do
hear like
we-
the loud tromping of a mouse, and then see a stick suddenly poke out of the brush on the other side. Start rooting around.
Do we get the sense that the mud itself is dangerous? Like that it is.
You haven't really tested it yet. It
Yeah.
is very dark, and like you can see like liquid on its surface, so it's obviously mud.
Yeah.
But as far as like dangerous, it's hard to tell from here.
Right.
Can we say that Butter would have a special knack for knowing what kind of water is dangerous water, considering his home?
I think so. I would say that Butter, you have seen this sort of pile up of mud before, for sure. I think that it will occur to you that like, yeah, it's probably fairly deep, and the leaves and stuff don't make it any easier, but you feel as if you would trust yourself to wade through it if you had to. It would just probably ruin your shoes.
At least I don't wear shoes.
Yeah.
As a mouse. Okay, so we haven't found any sign of him apart from his thing, his satchel backpack. We have footprints that go. Are they going back into the bush, or are they going from the bush into the
You
water?
go up into the bush, and then you lose track of it.
Okay.
By the snapped branch.
Yeah, the footprints don't go that far. They just go up to the bush, like the underside of the bush.
Yeah.
And then because the bush's roots are kind of soaking up all the water, there's no sign of tracks.
Right.
Butter looks up
From over here?
from where
you,
the branch is broken. He looks up.
from where the branch is broken. You see the underside of the budding flowers. You see a bumblebee kind of like bump a couple of the flowers and then fly away, but you don't see anything.
There's
amiss.
no mousy tracks in midair or on the branches.
You see a cloud that looks kind of vaguely like a mouse, and then maybe a cloud that looks like a frog.
What
That might be a
direction did the
stretch,
bumblebee
though.
go?
They have ascended.
The bumblebee, I would say, would have come from this direction, and then kind of bumped a couple of flowers, and then kind of scuttled off that way and gone up to a tree that's blossoming and kind of bumbled on that way. So that would be west.
Damn, I just realized how disrespectful of a name Bumblebee is.
I mean, they do bumble.
Yeah,
That's-
but
that's-
They're not
damn.
particularly good flyers.
Is it
These
like
bumblebees aren't hive bees, so there's no reason in tracking
Huh.
this.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I feel like there's something so obvious that we're not noticing.
Yeah.
I thought I had it for a second with the, oh, well, there was a branch. Maybe he clearly pushed himself up onto the next branch and it snapped. And
I
he's
think we
been
should call them bulbous bees.
bulbous bees? Isn't that worse?
their Latin name is bombus, if that helps.
It's pretty good.
The common bumblebee is bombus impatiens. Because
Nice.
I guess they're impatient. I
Yeah, is
don't know.
anyone feeling impatience right now?
Just confused.
Uh-huh.
So we know that he's following the trail. For some reason, he cuts off and goes into the bush. It's likely that he then snapped this branch in some way, potentially fell down the ravine, lost his
And-
backpack for sure, and didn't
And I
make it
think-
out.
You would be able to get up close and personal to the branch that you spotted from the other side that was snapped, if you'd like to.
Yeah. I
It's
would
it's
definitely-
close to the ground.
like
Yeah.
close to the.
I thought I
edge
was
of the-
under that
Yeah.
branch when I looked up.
Oh, apologies. Then yes, if that's what you're looking for, you'd be able to inspect it closely. It's been broken such that it's a cylinder and then you cut it at an angle, right? And so you end up with this sort of tapering, sharp bit of wood. The broken side is facing you, and then the opposite side is the cliff edge. If that makes sense.
So it broke.
So
out.
it tapers towards the cliff.
Correct.
All right.
And like the exposed inside wood is on your side. It's
So-
pretty thick too. You can reach out and grab it if you'd like.
Obviously not very stable.
I grab it, but I don't put any weight on it.
I mean, you
It's
can
enough.
you can get your kind of paw around it most of the way, but like it's about that big to you. It's pretty big by mousy standards.
Okay, so someone was standing where we were and pushed it out and broke it that way, which means we could have been pushed and
Should've been leaning
broke
out.
through it. Yeah, it could have been leading out. Could have been pulling it to get away from the cliff's edge.
Would it be a fantastically stupid idea to try and imitate whatever fall he took in a controlled manner?
I have a hook arm.
If I go from the broken branch and slide down the ravine just to see where I would end up.
Yeah, I mean it's maybe how high up would it be? 8 inches, give or take. So it's like you could survive a fall like that. Would it be pleasant? Probably not. And there's mud at the bottom, so who knows what's in there.
Yeah.
But as far as like the height of the fall, nothing super concerning. You've probably taken worse.
I want to
If there's mud at the bottom, from up here, do we see any sign of movement from in the mud. Not necessarily movement, but past movement, like trails.
He's
or-
still alive. No, no.
He's been treading
Yeah.
water the whole time.
I think from up here looking down, it was kind of occluded by the stick from where you were standing on the far side, but
Yeah.
right here, yeah, there's a noticeable depression as if someone fell. There's also like it's smeared in that direction.
Well, let's make our way down and check that out.
Yeah, you pick your way down. You're able to get. I guess my question is like, where are you standing? So like, down here is kind of above the mud. This is kind of a cliffside that's 8 inches tall, right? So you maybe get to here.
I
This
would
is maybe
err on
3 inches above.
yeah, I would err on like the left, the upper side. Yeah, over there.
Okay. You're able to kind of get your way down and look down, and sure enough, yeah, something heavier than a stick definitely landed here, and left an impression, and it looks like drag marks
In which direction?
to your south, to this direction.
Into the
Looks
center.
like it was
That's interesting.
dragged over the stick.
Dragged is an interesting verb that makes me scared.
Do they extend all the way through the? Does the drag mark extend all the way through the mud puddle?
No,
Or does it just sort of like fade out?
it kind of looks like something was halfway submerged in the mud and then faded out, like as it got pulled onto the surface. And then
if the drag
there's
mark goes
leaves on
towards
the surface. So
Yeah.
there's leaves on the surface, and like it kind of starts to disappear into that as you get towards the middle of the pond. And it's like I've drawn it kind of exaggerated. It's much smaller than this.
And we said south on the other side of the mud puddle is back towards the lily pond.
Yeah.
Either he drowned in the middle of this mud pond, or someone or something came in and dragged him out.
Well, we keep saying that he drowned somewhere and then keep finding evidence that he moved to somewhere else. I think we can just rule out the drowning at this point.
You never know.
As far as I'm concerned, all we've found is that he has fallen into the water, the mud, and was moved into the mud, and there's no evidence that he made it out of the mud.
Which is why we moved to where he would have been dragged out of the mud to see if there's evidence. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like that was going towards where we originally found tracks, right? The kind of southwest corner.
Yeah, you came from this direction, and then you found like drag marks over here.
Yeah. And that looks like the direction
But-
that the drag marks within the mud were going to as well.
This all seems to point to him just being held by somebody in Lily Pond.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well. I prefer to held in the mud.
So something was being dragged. I just want to make sure I'm picturing all this. We followed drag marks all the way to this spot. He fell in, we've discovered. And then we see drag marks at the end of this spot. We don't see, they're not fresher drag marks than they were.
They are fresher. They
Okay.
are much fresher.
Okay, then we know
sorry,
where
that's
we're
an
going.
important bit of information. And like the character of it is different, right? Like the
Oh.
drag marks before is like something sharp has been cutting through this. This is like something soft has been dragged through this.
Then
It went from
continue on.
boxes to a body. All right. We have determined that something happened here. On to the next scene.
Maybe we'll discover what happened when we reach the middle.
Major M is gonna sigh and then start walking towards the Lily Pond.
Yeah. Okay. You guys start walking towards the lily pond. I think Major M, you're probably the last person to leave as everyone sets off, and you feel kind of a tingle as fur stands up on the back of your neck.
Go back, look at more stuff.
Yeah, Major M's gonna take another look around. Is the like bee like sneaking up on me or something?
Well, it is that uncanny feeling that you're being watched, and you look up and you see the bee up in the trees, and maybe, but you don't see anything else, and then the feeling passes.
Okay. Uh, just because he's somewhat chaotic, is there a flower nearby?
Uh, I mean, I think you, before leaving the magnolia bush, could grab one. It's
Yeah,
like
I
not fully
not
bloomed
necessarily carry a flower with me, but just sort of like scoop some of the
The
pollen,
pollen.
and stuff and just sort of rub it on himself to scent him.
Yes, I think you can find a dandelion and like kind of pat yourself with it.
Yeah, just for the chaos, and then he's gonna keep going.
Okay. Yeah, you see a slightly yellowish major catch up to you
In a purple hat.
in a purple hat. And then you're able to kind of follow these tracks downhill towards the lily pond, and this kind of skirt the hill and like go down and to the left. And you round a corner, and sort of in this runnel, in this sort of valley between two hillsides. Butter, you'll be the first to recognize, but the other two will see what appears to be a stone cylinder that is embedded in this hillside with a stone trough running down from beyond it. The other two have probably never seen anything like this, but Butter, you will recognize this for what it is. It is
Where?
a sewer. There's a word for it. I'm blanking on it.
A pipe?
A sluiceway.
A drainage duct?
There's an architectural word for it. No.
In
But yeah,
aquifer.
A cantilever.
A
Cantilever,
Sally
you gotta
Sally
believe in
lever.
yourself.
Sally level? What was it?
A storm
Stacy
drain. It's a storm drain.
Okay.
Stacy level? What's the thing that like,
It's like a human storm drain.
what am I trying
It
to
is-
say?
Butter would know it's a human storm drain. Yeah. Are you thinking of a Claire story?
Yes, Claire's story.
A Sally, what's it?
A Sally level is what I said.
That's a pretty good parallel.
Yeah, I knew it was a
Oh.
woman's name and then like something
Like
above.
elevation?
Yeah.
I think that's where we'll end the session.
Can you pull up the paint again?
Yeah.
I just like how this was deeply helpful to our understanding of the session, but utterly incomprehensible if you have no context.
It's the lack of any
Especially-
ability to see like how the order in which things happened. It's just a bunch of lines.
Well, and the colors. Like I love
Yeah.
the bee that wanders across and gets its own little stripe of yellow.
Yeah.
That's delightful.
But yeah. Next session will start at the mouth of the storm drain.
Nice.
I
We're detectives.
first, I need to write down a bunch of player notes for all of this stuff so that we don't forget it. But I think the first thing that Butter says when Major like catches up after putting pollen all over himself before we get to the storm drain is, "Major, are you feeling all right?"
I'm just having a good day. You know, happy being yellow and all.
Are
Major, are you allergic to pollen by any chance?
Roll a
We've
will
not
save.
established This. I don't know. What do you want?
I won't make you make a roll.
Okay.
What's his name that we're following?
Hayseed.
Hayseed? Okay. We followed Hayseed, who is following drag marks from the site of a battle on the road. Uh, we made it to a muddy hole that we spent approx 4.5 hours investigating to learn that he fell in and then was dragged in the direction of Lily Pond. Upon continuing, we discovered a storm drain. Butter is elated. The others are confused. There we go.
Cool. I hope you enjoyed a shorter session.
Yeah.
It was